So I just got through watching a rather painful interview of Ibrahim Hooper and a gentleman from the First Amendment or Free Speech Defense Initiative or something like that. And it pained me because the arguments that were being used just for people with public relations degrees, you would think that they would be able to come up with better arguments. So let me give you guys a few hints, all right? First of all, when you're speaking to a conservative audience or speaking to a person who is a conservative in a discussion, you need to talk their language. And their language is property rights and taxes. So here's the problem. When you have Bill Maher come to the University of Berkeley, that's a public university, which is funded through public money. And when Bill Maher comes to speak, he's not going to speak for free. So somebody's going to pay him through the school. Now, that money is going to come from two sources, one of two sources. It's either going to come from public coffers, which means that money that is stolen from the public at gunpoint without their permission will then be used to pay Bill Maher his speaking fee. Now, if I'm being extorted at gunpoint without my consent, then I want to have a say-so over who and where that money is going, at the very least. Second is the students. The students themselves pay fees to the school, and those fees are then used to pay for things like speakers. Now, this is a student-started initiative. This is a ballot that the students at UC Berkeley, the people who paid the money the for the speaker fee, saying they want to have some sort of involvement in how the money that they've given to the school is going to be spent. And I don't particularly see a problem with that. If I've given a school or a business money, I like to have input on how my money is going to be used. If I have to give my money for these kinds of things, then I want to have input on how that money is used. And these students are simply exercising their right to protest the fact that they think that they should have some sort of input over how the money is spent that they've given to the school that they are going to. They're the ones who are paying for the experience at that university, so they should be the ones who have the opportunity to set the standard of what they think their university should stand for and who they think their university should promote. So the free speech issue. Now, I have no problem with the fact that Bill Maher has an opinion. If Bill Maher wants to stand in front of the school, or Bill Maher gets invited by a student organization, or Bill Maher rents a hall out with his own money and gives a speech at the school, I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me. But if public money is being used, or if the students, who they themselves are the ones who started this petition, are the ones that are having to pay for this event, then I think that they have a right to have an opinion over who's going to be speaking. So there you go. There's your Muslim redneck rant for the day. Bill Maher has a right to say whatever he likes. Bill Maher can beat a drum and talk about how he wants to blow up Mecca if he chooses. That's Bill Maher's prerogative. He can say whatever he'd like to say, but he doesn't. But the school, but the you don't have a right to say basically that the students can't say how their money is being spent, and that the public, if the public is being extorted to pay for this, that the public has no right to an opinion over how their money is being spent because it's their money.